Hello everyone and welcome back to Cities by Steven. You're talking to Steven. Welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, please hit that subscribe button, get that bell notification on too so you don't miss out on a video. Welcome back to the Skyline6 summer vacation series, where last time we were here, we built a work vacation destination. And in today's episode, we are going to be doing a lot. And in particular, we'll be building a vanilla golf course using only a couple of mods. But we have a lot to do today, including a very special recap of the series at the end of the episode. So with that, let's get started. Alright folks, so this is where we're going to be doing most of our building today, out in this little pocket here. And to start off with today's build, we have a empty train line that goes from the train station, swings out this way. We're going to bring this train line all the way through around here by the coast and create a bit of a train station down over here where we can have connections into Joy's Museum District and El Demetrius' zone over here, but also a close connection to Shuka's amazing Alhambra build. So that's what we're going to be starting off with today. Then we're going to add in a couple beach connections down into this beautiful bay right through here. And that's what we're going to start off with today to set us up for the next portion of the video. Alright, so here we are. We have the train line running through here. It kind of sinks down underneath this this road here, and then we have a cool little feature where we have the metros going over top of the train. Then we go through the jungle, which I've added a bunch of trees in here, and then we arrive at the museum station. And I think this is a very cool addition. We got extra parking here too, and then we have a good transit node here right from downtown to the museum. And that is really cool because we also have a bus connection from here that swings all the way through to this bus hub by this soccer field. So all in all, a good connection. We also have it connecting up to this monorail, which then goes to Shuka's amazing build. So I did bring in a bunch of trees to kind of fill out the space because this is the finale episode after all. So we got to fill everything out. But now the next thing we're going to do is add connections to this wonderful beach area. So just really simple connections to kind of show that you can access this beach. Maybe you're a local and this is a bit of a hidden treasure of the area, a bit kind of out of the way, tucked behind all these jungly trees. Alright, so here we go. We have our beautiful little beach area. We have a couple of restaurants, a couple of cafes, a couple of points of interest, an ice cream stand, a bunch of parking down over here, and a beautiful path that you can walk along the beachfront. You can also go through the jungle where we have an opportunity to come up all the way to here and see these historical bunkers that look over Skyline Cove. And then all the way over here we have another bunker and a bridge that goes through the jungle here. So yeah, pretty cool. I always think these are really cool when you have these elevated bridges through nature. And then we have our other bunker here that overlooks Skyline Cove from a bygone era. And then we have our connection through the jungle all the way over to Flyvox's area here, where we have tons of parking, a metro connection. So very, very good. I think this is cool. A little secret cove for the locals. And then we also have it connecting up via a little path here to this intersection where you can then walk to the train station. So I think it's really cool. But let's hop into the next portion of the video, which is the main portion of my video, which is building a golf course, a vanilla golf course using only Move It. And I'm really excited to bring this to you today. Now, why a golf course? Why does the city need a golf course? Well, we're looking at the city as a whole. There is a ton of space over here and a beautiful set of land right through here. Now, when I'm thinking of vacations, I'm thinking of, going to a destination to, sit by the beach. You got the museums. You come here for a work vacation, you got a baseball game. There's tons of things to do. There's a party area. There's a beautiful lakefront. There's so many beautiful things. But one thing that comes to mind to me is a golf vacation. I know that a lot of people, like my dad, for example, loves going on a golf vacation with his buddies. And I think that this is something that we can do today. When we're talking about the centerpieces of a golf course, what do we need? Well, a golf course is stunningly beautiful. It's surrounded by nature. It has a central clubhouse, probably with a cool wedding spot. Probably has an awesome restaurant in it, along with the 19th tee, aka the bar. It's got a cool practice green nearby, along with a big driving range, and of course, 18 beautiful holes. And all those 18 holes are going to need a lot of maintenance, so there's going to be lots of maintenance depots nearby, and tons of parking and cart storage. This is where we're going to be doing this, right beside Joy's 55 plus town, which I think is just the perfect connection piece for the golf course. So this is where we're going to be doing the clubhouse, right in here, pretty centrally located. We'll get a connection point from here to here into the clubhouse as well. We'll continue and expand out Joy's 55 plus community into this little space, and then we'll focus the clubhouse area right in here. All right, so here we go. We have the start of the golf resort for your golf vacation. We're using this building over here, one of the seaside resorts, and this one is really cool because it has probably the clubhouse. It probably has a space for a restaurant, and I think we could do a lot with this space, including like a wedding venue. This is a really cool looking building. It's pretty large. I think it can host a lot of people on those top floors, including having the like the pro shop inside of it, a restaurant or two. Maybe we can get like a secondary restaurant over here or something like that. But we have a ton of parking. I think that's probably going to be enough. Perhaps not. There's a lot of people that go to golf courses, but I think this is a good amount of parking space for us. And then we have a park maintenance depot, and this one looks so much like so many maintenance buildings on golf courses. They're usually like converted barns, at least from what I've seen in my region. So I think these ones look really cool. They could definitely host all the maintenance trucks and all the lawn mowers and stuff like that. But then we have over here, we're using these covered parking lots, and we'll say that those are for the golf carts. But we also have propane tanks back over here for the heating and whatnot for the building. So we have an access point for them. But otherwise, we are ready to do the practice green and the driving range in this area, and then we will start on the actual golf course itself. but we need to first plan out where those are going to go. And we have a bit of a limited space on this side of the highway here. So I'm thinking what we do is we have the practice green kind of set up right over here, and then we bridge across the highway where we'll have the driving range set up to be in this kind of slot. It's a little bit bigger of a space for a driving range, a practice range, and I think that would be a good kind of location. And then we'll have the first tee somewhere over here close to where the driving range is. And then we're going to have to do all 18 holes somewhat in this kind of vicinity. So we got to figure that out, but I definitely want to make sure that we have the 18th hole ending right about here. And then we'll have kind of the wedding venue kind of aspect to it right behind the resort. I think that would be really, really nice. So let's first of all bring the bridge across. I found these cool assets on the sub buildings from the Industries DLC and Find It, and they're really cool. They kind of seem like maybe older maintenance buildings, and they also have like some trucks and stuff. So I added some trucks into the park maintenance building, or the golf course maintenance building, really. But let's grab the path, and we're going to continue this path out because this is the path that first of all is close to the golf cart zone, but also close to the resort. So this one, I think we genuinely just keep straight, and then we will bridge at a certain point over top of the highway. Now, normally I would imagine that these would be tunnels, but in this case, because we're so elevated above the road right now, I think a bridge would be good in this case, but I think this is probably going to be the only bridge across this highway for the course. All right, so we have our bridge across the highway here. We elevated the terrain around here, and actually it kind of goes uphill, which is probably playing in our favor for a driving range. We have a pretty major road here, so we're gonna have to protect those with some trees. I think that'll probably be the best solution. But over here, back to our area, we have a great spot here for a practice putting green. And it's close to some of the maintenance depots, but I think we can hide some of that with some trees, and we can make a nice beautiful kind of area through here. And then we have our lovely space for a ton of wedding venue stuff, event space. I think we could have a nice beautiful garden out this way. Then we can have the 18th hole kind of end right here close by to the resort, because that's where you want to see when you're on the 18th green coming in. So this is where we're going to do the practice green, and let's talk about the practice green real quick, because we're going to need at least a little bit of a road connecting here. We might as well just use the path right here to connect up like that, and then we'll have a little bit of a space for carts to pull over, and we probably want a good amount of space with a couple flags to practice your putting skills. So let's just level it out a little bit. Let's choose this height here. All right, so here is the space we're going to use for the putting green. What a view of the skyline in the background too. Fantastic. So this little spot through here is going to host our putting green, or practice green, where you go and make sure that you have fully prepared for all the putting that you're going to do throughout the 18-hole golf course. We are going to kind of go over how we're going to do this. How do you get the detailed fairways, the clean fairways, because we have all of these little grass sprites and whatnot. How do you clear it out to make it seem like it's a well-manicured, beautiful golf course that all these amazing folks who work at the maintenance depot take care of? Well, it's pretty simple actually. You're going to go to the Parks and Plazas area. You're going to go to the Mid-Century Modern if you have it, the Mid-Century Modern Content Creator Pack, and you're going to go to Grass Decal number 2. This is a pretty cool decal here. So it's squared, that doesn't seem right. Right angles don't appear in nature. Right angles aren't on golf courses, but if you just kind of place them down kind of like this, just roughly on where your area is going to be, look at this, it's clearing out the sprites. So we're going to kind of fill out the whole area where we're going to be kind of having our mini putt practice course. in this kind of zone, and then we'll kind of talk about how we can get rid of these ugly right angles. All right, so we have all the space covered. Oh, there's a little teeny sliver right here. Gotta make sure it's all covered. This is pretty much where we're gonna have our practice green. And now you're gonna go to grass decal number 1. And if you just put them right on the edge like this, it kind of hides the discoloration, but it also blends in the grass with the sprites. So we're gonna go through here and go all the way around, and then we're gonna bring in these kind of bush decals, and we're gonna add them around it to hide the right angles on this one. So I like to kind of just plop them down generously, and it covers off the yellowy textures on the side of the green, but when we're done, it's gonna look so much better. Look at that, that looks awesome. So we have this clean cut on the grass here for where the carts pull over onto this dirt little area. And then we have the little sprites kind of demarcating where the rough is. And then the first texture, or really the second one that we placed down, is kind of like the fringe, if you're into the golf terminology. And then we have the actual putting green itself. So how are we going to actually place down pins? Well, you're going to go into Find It, and you're going to go into Bollards, and there's a few of them that actually look like little teeny holes. So we just kind of plop them down like that. Look at that. That looks like a golf hole. So we're going to place down a couple of these, and then we're going to get a flag. So how are we going to get a flag? Well, if you type in soccer and you go to props, look at this. There's a soccer flag. So we're going to plop this inside of these bollards that we placed down, but we need to move it to do it. So I'm just going to click them down close to where we placed these ones before. And look at this. They genuinely look like a putting green. There's flags in the pins. Look at that. That's so cool. I love this so much. Holy cow, this is cool. All right. So now that we have this in place, let's get going across the bridge here and build our driving range. So we have our cart path here. We're going to go around through here. We'll detail this all up with some trees to kind of block it from the road. And then we're going to line up right beside here where we're going to have a bit of a driving range towards the rail. But I suppose we could bring this a bit closer so we get a bit more space for all the power hitters out there. But with it going uphill, I feel pretty comfortable with this. So yeah, let's redo this, bring it a bit closer. But I like the loop that we have going on here. And then from this kind of point, we'll have a dirt path right beside it where you can pull off. Then we'll have our driving range, and then we'll have the first tee right about here. So let's get going on that, and then we'll talk about how we're going to kind of detail up this to make it look like a driving range. All right, so we have this ready to go. We're going to do the same kind of thing in like a box kind of area. And then what we're going to do is we'll have kind of bollards to line up as if those were kind of the designated zones for you to hit your golf ball out into this area. But we'll also create a few pins because a lot of times driving ranges have pins earmarked at like 50 yards, 100 yards, 150 yards, etc. And then that is really useful for practicing, right? Knowing which club you're hitting, and you're hitting it towards a certain pin, trying to measure out the distance, kind of getting the feel for your clubs on that day. But there's always, before the first tee, kind of like a little hut where the marshal is, making sure that you're staying on time. So you kind of check in to make sure that you are ready for your first tee at the right time. Maybe, you know, they reschedule things if people are late, if people are early. But we're also going to have that kind of little hut kind of be where you would get golf balls for the driving range. So I think the best option we have really to do this is kind of with the nature reserve. And the nature reserve has the hunting lodges. And I think these ones are pretty cool. I think we could kind of use these as that kind of hunting lodge. So let's get that going. All right, so here we go. We have our driving range, and this is pretty cool. I really like how this turned out. It's really secluded now with all those trees. I doubt a ball is going to get through there unless you're trying to get over top of the trees, I guess, especially with these really tall palms. We have all the little teeny designated spots, and we have all these pin areas that we can go to. As we can see, they got the pins. Oh, the flag's a little off. But then we have our little shop area, yeah. This looks great. I really like this. You can barely tell that there's a road over there too, which is really nice. And then if we go over to here, let's hop out of this view. My goodness. We have our little game warden area, the little shop where you get the golf balls for the driving range. I guess if you're like a club member, I'm sure that would be free. But then we have our little hut here where you sign in for hole number 1, and then we have probably their lounge area. But now we're looking at hole numero uno. So let's kind of figure out where this is going to be, and then we will definitely kick it off because I have so much more to show you on how to build a pro golf course. So let's swing out this way, and then maybe let's get the tee box over here, and maybe we can hit in this direction or something like that. That would be cool because we need to fill 18 holes. This is going to be a lot. 18 holes is a lot. But I think we can do it because we have some really fun terrain challenges here with the train, with all these roads, especially if we're going to get hole number 18 right here. We needed to go kind of like 1, 2, 3, like back and forth. But I also want to get a hole, at least one, from here to here. So this is going to offer a ton of really cool challenges. It's going to take up a lot of space, which is the goal. There's a ton of space right here. So with that challenge, let's do it. Hole number 1 right here. All right, so here's hole numero uno, and it's a par 4, which means that it's probably likely that you, if you're a pro, would make this in 4. So we have our pro tee, we have our regular tee, and then we have our junior tee. And the idea here is that you're going to make your shot from these tee boxes over all the way to the green in 4 tries. Then we have a fairway bunker in here, which is a sand trap. And this is positioned so that if you hit it too far in your first shot, you might land in the bunker. Fairway bunker is a large bunker situated in the middle of the fairway. We'll get to other types of bunkers soon, but it gets a little glitchy sometimes when you're zooming around really fast. But when you hold the camera steady, look at that. That looks so much like a golf course. Now we also are going uphill, and we gotta make sure that we account for that with everything. But look at this. This looks so good. That is hole number 1. Now there is definitely more that you can do, but we're just showing off the possibilities right now. And so the sand we got with the same kind of concept for the greens, except we're using pebble decal number 1. The other ones also work, but I think this works fantastically. All right, and then you can also add in just a few of these, for example, if you want to really kind of accentuate the rough. I would often suggest that you kind of go a little bit beyond kind of where the dark green would start, but I think that this kind of works. Sometimes there's like a deep rough between the green and the fairway, and sometimes there's no difference between the fairway and the green at all, but we're just doing it this style for right now. Yes, we'll get some deep rough through here, but then we also need to consider about the cart path. So the cart path where you're driving your golf cart, let's figure it out. I'm going to bring it a little bit further to about here, just so people can park while they go about their first shots. And then from about here, we're just going to swing back through here. We're going to be really, really careful about what we're doing here. And we will come pretty close to the green, but leaving space for everything. Now, I probably shouldn't have put all those decals there because I was planning on going around the green here. And like that. All right, so let's just delete a couple of these. And yeah, okay, so then we have our tee right here, or sorry, our hole right here, which means our second tee can be somewhere over here since we have the golf cart this way. Now, this would be a good time to talk about how golf courses are laid out. Well, they follow roughly, generally, a format of either 3 par 3s, 3 par 4s, and 3 par 5s per 9 holes. So a golf course is 18 holes, which is going to be a lot to do in here. But generally, they're split between a front 9 and a back 9 holes. And in each of those 9 holes, groups of 9 holes, we will have a par 3, or sorry, 3 par 3s, 3 par 4s, and 3 par 5s. There's also a method where you can do 3 par 3s, 4 par 4s, and 2 par 5s. That's just a general rule of thumb, though. I think that we can kind of play it however we see fit, but I'm thinking of trying out the 3, 3, and 3 format. Alright, so hole number 2, it's a par 5. It's a longer hole, which means that it's assumed that you would make the hole in 5 shots. But again, I'm not a pro. This would be like a par 10 for me. Yeah, pretty good. We have 2 fairway bunkers here. Now, there's a few other things that we can do to kind of add to it. It looks a little bit better when you hold the camera steady, doesn't it? When you're moving around, it's kind of glitchy and whatnot, but makes for some cool shots. So if you want to, you don't have to at all, but right around the area that you place the bunker, you can just right click a little bit, make a little bit of a divot into the earth, and then when you're looking at it from a distance, it looks a bit more like a classic bunker. So we can do that for these holes here. Just a couple, you know, it's a little lower, draws the balls in a little bit more. But we have a tree here protecting the hole, so I would say that we would want this tree to stay in play, and we would place the hole somewhere behind the tree so you can't make a cheeky shot from about here or something like that because the tree is blocking it. So let's go into move it, and I'm just going to copy the one that I had over here because it's a bit tricky to get both of these bollard and flag combo together. Very good, look at this. I love the windmills in the background too. This is awesome. This is coming along really, really nicely. So we're gonna do the 3rd hole here, and it's gonna be a par 3 because why not? It's hole 3, make it a par 3, so it'll be a small one. However, this time we're gonna add in a bit of a different feature. Once we're done this hole, I'll come back and I'll do the trees through here. And then once we're done all 3 of these, I'm gonna go into a speed through where we're gonna use all the same techniques that we've learned and kind of implement them for the rest of the 15 holes. So holy cow, we got a lot to do, but looking at it from this distance here, I know that decals kind of lose their green color from this distance, but it looks like we're really starting to come along, especially from this height too. You can kind of see that there is definitely space for 18 holes. So a par 3.
I hit it! Yeah! I shot it with that and I got it! I swear to God!
Alright, so we have 6 holes done now, which is awesome. But there's one thing that I need to do before we get going any further. This is pretty Link style, so like back and forth, and we have hole 1, we have hole 2, we have hole 3, 4, 5, and 6. And right now we have 1 par 4, 1 par 5, 1 par 3, 2 par 5s now, and then 3 par 3s with these. So we're done with the par 3s for the first 9. And we're 6 holes in, but look how much space we have left to do. So I'm thinking we need a way to make sure that we expand a bit further. Now I don't mind having it like all tight over here, but then expanding it wider out this way. And boy, do I have a few fun ways that we can go about doing this. And we are going to draw a road in from this node here, connecting up to the highway, or actually, sorry, going over top of the highway. We're not going to connect up here. And then we're going to get back down to ground level and then go over top or underneath of the rail here, connect up with this road, and then bring it into here. Then we're also going to get the same kind of idea from a node over at this side, kind of just like what this is here. Now we'll bring this one and connect it up via a cool road network through here to connect up. And yeah, we're just going to kind of have like a cool residential area, low density with some large properties. So by doing this, we'll have a bit more expansion out this way, fill in a bit in here, nothing too crazy, but basically the only connection points are going to be here, and then with the bridge here, we might actually have to connect up to the road itself, but I'd rather not. So maybe we can find another way to do that at this point. So let's get going on that.
Tiger, where are you? Tiger!
All right, so we have a fun road layout through here. And basically the purpose of this is to get some cool houses along the golf course, but also create some challenges for the golf course. You know, it can be really simple. We can just keep going back and forth for 18 holes, but let's make it a bit of a challenge. Let's make it unique. And what better way to do that than throw a bunch of roads right in the middle? Like, holy cow. How are we going to do this? Well, let's get going on it. This is hole number 7 now. We're going to swing this cart path a little bit further down. Or actually, maybe we can just go right from here. We can have this hole be a par 4 or something like that. Let's get going on it. All right, so we have our front 9 here. We have our first par 4, first par 5, first par 3, second par 5, second par 3, third par 3. So we're done for par 3s. Got a par 4, 5, and then 4. So we have 3 of each kind of holes. And then there we're at the 9. So oftentimes at golf courses, once you hit the 9-hole mark, you're halfway done. Or, you know, sometimes you only want to play the front 9 or the back 9. So they often have just like a little kind of house or like a restaurant or something like that, where there's restrooms, there's food, and you can park your cart for a bit if you're ahead of schedule or whatnot. So we're gonna have a cool building right here to kind of earmark that 9th hole kind of rest stop. And then maybe we could have like a bit of a shuttle bus that runs from here to here, so that maybe if you know, if you only wanted to play the front 9, it's a bit of an awkward location to end, so we can have like a shuttle that runs there, run by the golf course. So let's get a cool building in. And you know, there's honestly no other building that I was thinking of other than one of these sidewalk cafes or the sidewalk restaurants. The sidewalk restaurant's a bit bigger. Let's see if we can get this in here, make it look nice. So let's just move it here just to select the building, rotate it a bit so that we can see what we're doing here.
Why didn't you just go home? That's your home!
All right, so here we are. We have our cool little area here, a little rest stop with a bit of a restaurant or something inside of it, and a cool place to sit down over here. And I think that this is a great little thing that we've done. Also added a mini bus stop, just a little shuttle that runs right back to the main golf course area. And look at this, folks. We are at the back 9. All right, so we have holes 10 and 11 here, and look at this. I love hole 11. Hole 11, you have to lay up right here before you hit over the green, or over the water, sorry, to the green. And yeah, look at this. This is awesome. Bit of a fairway. Here's the green. I forgot to get the flag. Let's get the flag in. My goodness. It is a prop, so we just kind of go over top of an old green, and then we just slide it in. Let's get it right back in this back corner. Awesome. Okay, hole 11 is fantastic. Hole 10 is pretty cool too, because we have the pond asset. Now, don't worry, I will bring power out this way. But holy cow, this is so cool. So we are at hole 11. We're going to do hole 12.
I play golf.
All right, so here are the next two holes, a par 5 and a par 3. This par 5 has a nice dog leg on it, and then the par 3, and then now we're going to move over to this side. All right, so we finished the next hole here, and look at how amazing this looks. I love this hole. Right beside the water here, where I've added in some boats in the cove, and look at this. So we end up right here, beautiful scenery through the trees, and we go underneath here, underneath all the way to here, where we have our another hole already made. Just a simple little par 5. Both of these are par 5s. Then we follow back across these bridges by hole number 8, and then we swing all the way over here to the next hole, hole number 16, just a simple little par 3, and I think that this is all that's needed right here. And then we'll swing out over to here, where we'll have hole number 17, which will be a par 4, and then we'll end it on a par 3 right in front of the resort. But before we get going to that, there is something we definitely need to do, and that is fill out all these little gaps that we've placed in with some cool large houses. All right, so I filled up the area with houses. We're using the mid-century modern because I feel like that adds a lot to the area. You know, pools, people maybe rent these as Airbnbs, people live out here, secondary homes kind of thing. And I think it's really neat. We have a few commercial assets just on kind of like the main little areas, but mainly it's all mid-century modern. So now let's get to hole number 17. All right, so now hole 17 is done, and we have also added in a small addition over here because there was some space. Just continued it out from Joy's 55 plus community, and I really like how this area is starting to look. And now we're on to the last hole, and we'll have the tee box probably right about here. Just a short par 3, maybe actually sorry, a long par 3, and we'll end it up right here, and then we are right at the resort. All right, and here is the 18th hole, and we have another little teeny addition here just to fill in the space. And my goodness, look at this. We have a complete golf course using only vanilla assets, and look how amazing this looks. Huge amount of space we've filled today. Holy moly, starting from the train. Oh my goodness. So now the last thing to do with the golf resort is this wedding venue. And how are we going to do this? Well, I think we're just going to have a nice gazebo with some benches behind it, kind of showing that there is a wedding. We're also going to have lots of open green space from about this point on. I'll cover this up with forest just for some extra lawn space for events. All right, so we've detailed up the golf resort, and look at this. I love this. The little wedding venue here with tiles underneath, with a bunch of benches and a nice old gazebo there. We also added some assets around the park area of the resort, and I think it looks fantastic. So we've completed our mission. We've completed our golf course, and what else is there to do? Well, there's one last spot in this whole city that is just open for building, and that is right here by Raid Zoo. I am going to build just a tiny community right through here, just a little neighborhood with a couple access points to the beach, and then we will call it a day and we'll call it a series. So I've just added in a small residential community behind Raid Zoo. It has a big park in the middle with a school, a gym, an educational center, and we have some services on the outside with some commercial, right kind of where the neighborhood meets the highway here. We also have a retirement home out this way, beautiful walking paths through the jungle. And then we also have a couple beachfront additions, just a small little access point down to this lake with a dog park. And then we also have a beach over here to kind of have access to this lake. And then right across, we also have a second one out over here, following the same kind of styles like we did at the beginning of the episode. So just these small little additions I thought were nice to add. And then if we were to go back all the way to our golf course, let's recap what we did in this episode. So we have a train line now running from Meowtown all the way through to Volcano Station, where we added in a bit of a transit hub for some buses, some trains, and a big parking garage for the museum district. We also added in a beachfront access point right here, where we've thrown in some boat assets as well to kind of show that people are using Skyline Cove, including a party cruise. And then we also have an access point to Fly's amusement park out over here. Then to the golf course, we added an extension onto Joy's 55 plus community, and then we have our golf resort with our resort, our maintenance depots, our cute little wedding venue. We have a putting green. We have a driving range through here. Now I've also gone through and added in a bit more textures throughout it, just to kind of blend in different lengths of rough throughout the entire course. But we've also added in a bypass golf cart path that goes from the driving range all the way around to the 9th hole, and then obviously vice versa. And then we've also added in a cool community throughout the golf resort and the golf course. So I hope you enjoyed this series as much as I did, but stick around for a really cool recap of the series.
Starting this summer city series, it was essential that I set up public transportation services that could branch out from the Meowtown across the map.
I created these dueling boardwalks with one thing in mind: being able to make an entire family happy with tons of options and a great view.
Livox here. For my first build, I went with an amusement park build because, of course, it's a summer vacation city, and a vacation city could use an amusement park. That was my idea behind this build.
Do you love live music? Are you a party animal? Then the Heartbeat is the place for you to book your next vacation. The Heartbeat is a unique, heart-shaped, landlocked beach with an outdoor concert venue. This truly is the place in the city that never sleeps. Trust me, you will not forget your vacation at the Heartbeat.
This is the place you wish you got sent to for that boring work conference. With a baseball stadium and an outdoor mall steps away from your hotel and your meetings, your work vacation couldn't get any better.
This is the place where the regular people live, those that grew up in the city and spent their time here, who don't think of it as a tourist destination, but instead, to them, it's just their home.
Hi, El Dimitrius here. My idea was to create the ultimate tourist trap, with the stadium being the main attraction of the area, with plenty to do for all the tourists to stay in the area. It's just like Hotel California by the Eagles. You can check out anytime you like, but you can never leave.
This is where the city was born. Throughout the ages and the steady hand of Lord Knock-Knocks, it has evolved and became an administrative area. With a castle and so many attractions around it, it's certainly part of the ultimate summer destination.
Been partying hard and need to unwind away from it all? Then this is the place for you. A quick train ride from Meowtown Central train station and you've arrived lakeside. With plenty of lakeside accommodation and a national park on your doorstep, it's the perfect way to chillax to the max and unwind in this summer vacation city.
After I had my IRL summer vacation at the Alhambra in Granada, Spain, I coordinated with Cello for a special storyline about these historical elements within our summer city.
I built this zoo because I wanted to rival the build that I did for Ladies in the City. With all of the fine detailing and the tile work, the intricacy of breaking everything down by biomes, I think this is the thing I am most proud of in any City Skylines build I've ever done.
This was my idea for the completion of the downtown. I really wanted to create a place that was both aesthetically pleasing and also a highly functional destination. And I think that I captured that with this build. I really enjoyed a lot.
Looking for a place to escape the heat and just want to have a quiet moment to yourself, then the museum district is for you. We've got art museums, science museums, technology museums. We've got the botanical museum. Lots of choices, lots of beautiful grounds just to walk around and just have a nice, calm day and learn more about the history of this beautiful city.
Flybox here again. My second build was heavily inspired by the movie Edward Scissorhands. I loosely recreated the fictional movie town, which was shot in an actual real-life location. This was such a fun build to do, and I'm very pleased how this turned out.
Are you a golf fanatic on vacation looking for the best courses in the world to play? Well, look no further than the Skyline6 golf course. With pristine fairways and amazing amenities, this is the ultimate vacation spot for you. And with that, the Skyline6 summer vacation has come to a close. What a fun recap that was, and what an amazing series this has been. Each and every build was just so incredible. These past 15 weeks have been such a blast to be a part of. It has been such an amazing experience for all of us, and I know that I speak for both the crew and for the guest builders when I say thank you all for making this series the best one out there. Your support for all the builders week in and week out have made this so much fun to be a part of, and we really appreciate your support. Now, from all of us here at the Skyline6, Fast Forward, Flyvox, Droid Build Cities, Raid Kitty, Shukaboa, and myself, we would like to thank the guest builders, Cities by Diana, Cityzilla, El Demetrius, and Cello for joining us on this fantastic summer vacation. While this series is now complete, be on the lookout for some amazing plans that we will have coming in the near future. To stay in the loop, feel free to join the City of Friends Discord channel where all the Skyline6 hangs out so that you are the first in the know. And with that, I'd like to thank you all for watching today. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Talk to y'all soon. Peace out.